Everybody ready? Molly, you recording?
Ready.
Yes.
Are you focused?
I'm ready.
Oh, okay, good.
But did you hear Laura ask you if you were focused? Because you sure didn't answer.
I did not hear her ask me if I was focused.
Because
So
you were
that's-
not focused.
I like how she changed her angle so it doesn't look like she's looking at her phone, but we
We can tell.
Hello, happy Wednesday. Welcome to...
Wednesday.
It is a Wednesday.
Yeah, I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the podcast, Our 3 Cents. I'm Laura.
I'm Molly.
I'm Bailey. I really thought she was going to miss it.
And we're here. We're
already 20 minutes into this podcast.
You won't hear that 20
Welcome.
minutes, but we have heard that 20 minutes.
Oh, it's been a ride, you guys.
It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
It is a Wednesday.
Yeah, so some updates.
We've
I
been gone,
guess.
remember?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
We've been gone for a week.
Did we not record?
Tomorrow we're not going to have an episode.
Yes.
This will go up
Okay.
next week.
Hello, everyone. I was on vacation.
Laura went
So
to Mexico.
I just completely zoned out. Yes, I went to Mexico. It was great. My company's really great. I love them. They're all super funny.
I'm good. I'm glad.
They can drink,
Oof.
though. Like,
How old are these people? Are they all like adult?
there's one of the guys that works there is 26,
Mm.
and he and his wife, who's also 26, were there. And then everybody else is either like my parents' age or older.
Yeah.
And there was only 9 of us on the trip, so it was me, that guy and his wife, my boss, and then my other boss, like their husband and wife,
Mhm.
and then a woman who is one of our superintendents, and she's 72, 62. She's like,
Did she drink a lot?
she drank the most. And then her friend, who is also her age, they're
Mhm.
dating, but they call each other friends because
Mhm.
they're older, you know.
My great grandma had one of those.
Yeah, it's fun when you get that age. Anyways, everybody drank so much. Like, we were drinking. I've never drank on a plane before. Like, I've never thought that it was like
Uh-huh.
worth it to spend the money, like the
Uh-huh.
$8 it is to buy a tiny airplane bottle.
Yeah.
And my boss made us all drink. Not only made us all, but he was like, "Take my credit card, buy whatever you want." And I was like, I've never drank on a plane before, so that was interesting. And then we got off, and as we exited the airport, there was like a margarita stand, and we bought margaritas there and took them into the little like van that took us to our hotel. We get to the hotel, they give us sparkling wine. We walked down some steps, they had more sparkling wine.
God,
We
I
got
would've
to our
been so
rooms,
drunk
and
at
all of
this
us
point.
had a bottle of champagne in our room. And then we like unpacked a little and left, and like for the first 2 days, for the first
You were just
day
drunk.
and a half, all I had was alcohol. I didn't drink water. I didn't eat like I should have.
Which is not the way to do it,
It was,
kids,
like,
and we
so
don't condone
much.
it.
And I was like not understand. And I didn't get drunk ever because there was so much time in between like
Uh-huh.
some of the drinks that I was having.
It was a really, really long day drink.
But it was like, good God.
Yes.
Also, I had my first drink at 8:30 in the morning in the layover in Houston, Texas.
Uh-huh.
And so that was just a whole lot. And I didn't stop drinking that night until we went to bed at like 1. And I was
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh.
and then the next day we woke up, and one of the girls came and got me up, and I did not want to be awoken, but she awoke me. And we went out and did something, and then drank. And the second night we went to dinner, and I got to dinner, and I felt weird. Like, the whole afternoon I was, like, feeling weird. I hadn't drank water, and I'd barely eaten anything. Like, small portions, whatever. And I get to dinner, and I sit down, and I ordered something that wasn't even on the menu because I was not going to be able to eat anything that was on the menu, but it was, like, a all-inclusive resort, so they were like, they would make you something. I didn't even wait to see it. No, I did. It got there, I ate 3 bites, and I was like, I can't do this anymore, and I got up and left. And I went to my room, drank 2 bottles of water.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say wine.
No.
Was it just?
It was like a
French
it was like
fries.
no, it was
tenders?
chicken Alfredo or
Okay.
like regular Alfredo. But and bread. I was just like consuming copious amounts of bread.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to my room, drank 2 bottles of water, and passed the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. Did you have the room by yourself?
Yeah, because everybody else was like coupled off, and then it was just me.
That's so nice.
It was so nice.
Forget that
like,
Beyonce.
my company was like, I don't know. I've never been with a company that had this kind of culture, and they're just super nice and super supportive, and like they all really think I'm doing a good job, and like not that I don't think I'm doing a good job. It's just like,
and you know they were honest because they were drunk.
Yeah, girl, yeah. But yeah, all of them continued to drink. I like got so dehydrated that I woke up and I was just like, I don't ever want to drink alcohol again. Like,
scared straight.
I do, literally, like, I don't. And for the rest of the trip, I drank water and like Coke. Like, if I wanted something harder than water, I was like, can I just have a Coke?
Give me a little bit of caffeine.
Oh God, it was awful. Ugh. And then the next night we got like 8 bottles of wine or something crazy, and then the next night we got so many bottles of wine, and I was like, I can't handle this. And I'm the youngest person on this trip, and I feel like I'm 80. Like the literal almost 80-year-old is out drinking me so much. But whatever. But it was nice. Anyways, we have named the cats.
Good. Tell us.
The cats
Drum roll.
have names.
I'm excited.
And if Molly and Bailey don't like the names, I could give 2 shits less.
Describe the appearance of the cats when you name them, because I don't know if the podcast
it really has
knows,
nothing.
except for the
Okay, it
picture.
kind of does. It really has nothing to do with their.
Just so we can know which one's
Okay.
which.
So if you go look at our Twitter, you retweeted
Yes,
it.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you go look at our Twitter, there's one cat who is black and she has like a little like
Little white mustache.
she has like a little white mustache, but I call her buck teeth
Yes.
because they kind of look like buck teeth.
Yeah.
And then the other one, she's black and she has the 2 little white buck teeth, and then like socks like of varying sizes on all 4 feet, and then her tummy's all white too. So cute.
Oh, good.
And then the other one is like a tiger striped Savannah looking cat, but not Savannah cat. Like, they're both from the same litter. They're just like normal barn cats, but they're cute. Anyway, so we've been discussing these names, as you saw from the last episode. We've had much desperation about these names. And in my head, I wanted the little black cat to have like a more like old woman name or like regal. Like I told Sam last night that it has to be something that a queen could have. That doesn't doesn't apply to this name that it has now.
Okay.
But like something like that, or spooky. I said
Or spooky.
either
I'm down.
regal or spooky. And then the tiger cat, she's kind of ditzy, like more ditzy than the black one, and just like cute, girly, whatever, dainty. So the names are for the black one, and I'm extra. Everybody knows I'm extra, right? So her official God-given birth name is.
Well, I don't know if it's God-given.
I am God. God is a woman.
Topical.
Thank you.
Her Christian name.
Her Christian name is Duchess Dottie McSpotty.
Oh my gosh.
Her
Wait, what was the words after Duchess?
Dottie McSpotty.
Dottie
So
McSpotty.
her name that we're calling her is Dottie. It'll probably be shortened to Dot soon. And then the tiger's name is Daisy May.
Oh, that's cute.
Isn't it cute? That's so cute.
That's
Look
cute.
so proud of yourself.
I
I
would call
love
the
them.
other
I
one
like it.
Duchess though, but that's just because of the Aristocats.
No, I said
Got him.
yeah.
Got him.
I said Regal and he said Duchess, and I said, "Oh my God, yes." And he was like, "No, I wasn't being serious." And I was like, "Sorry."
But yes.
Like,
But she doesn't have to be a fancy cat. Like, if you're gonna call her Duchess, she needs to be fancy.
that's her, like, that's only when she's, like, either really doing something good or really doing something bad. And you have to use her whole name. And it'll more than likely be shortened to Dot.
Like they do with the Queen.
Exactly.
They call her Elizabeth when she's reading really good or really bad.
Elizabeth!
Queenie, get over here!
But yes, so they finally have names, and now we've just got to start them, or get them to start, like,
Learning.
acknowledging their names. But yes, they're being so sweet. Oh my God. Oh my God. Last night, there was a mouse in my house.
Oh no.
Last night, there was a mouse in my house.
This has taken a turn.
Last night, there was a mouse in my goddamn house. And Sam had to pick it up with a Tupperware container.
Ooh, okay,
And
okay.
he threw it outside, and the cats were playing with it, and it was in their mouths, and there was lots
was
of
it dead?
Oh my
no,
gosh.
it was still alive, but they were just like playing with it, and it was a whole lot. And I was like, I don't know what I would have done if I saw a mouse run out of a wall, but like, thank you for getting it, but also like give it to me because you can't just keep it.
You can't have it.
And so we threw it. It was like this whole thing, and we got rid of it, and we talked about how crazy that was, that we had mouse, but we had cats, so it's fine. This morning, I sat down in a chair to put my shoes on. Literally 5 minutes later, I would have been out of the door, and I hear this noise, and I was like, in my head, they're playing with a toy, look over to see the toy sitting on the ground and no cats around it, and think, no the fuck it didn't. Stood up, and there's another different mouse in my goddamn house, and the cats have it again. And so I call Sam in a panic, and I say, I don't know where you put the Tupperware container. Help me.
Do you only have one?
No, but I didn't want to do it myself. And he was like, I don't know what, you're just going to have to, like, get it like we did yesterday. And I was like, I don't think I can throw a mouse. And it was just a whole thing. It's out of the house. And so I started, like, looking around for, like, what to do. And, like, I'm literally in my clothes to go to work, in my, like, mindset of I'm about to go to work. And so I, like, look around for something to get. And as I'm, like, turning back around, I see the cats and I see no mouse. And the cats have, like, just completely lost interest in said mouse. And I was like, no, go find it and bring it to me. Go find the mouse, and they wouldn't. And I sat
They knew you would just take it from them.
I sat there for like 10 minutes, like, okay, where's the mouse? And I like shook things in the house, and I was like, no, we're gonna find it. Let's find it. And they didn't give two shits about this mouse. And I was like, okay. So like after 15 minutes, I was like, I have to go to work, and I had to leave a mouse in my house.
I'm really
want to know a great thing? Haven't found the mouse yet.
Yeah, you gotta get a person out there for that.
I don't know.
You gotta get somebody.
We have cats. That's their job.
Yeah, the fact that there were two mice in like a short amount of time, that's not good.
That's the thing, is like, where are they coming from? Like, what? I know we live out.
Are you out in the woods?
I mean, we're in the woods.
Bailey, haven't you been over there?
I think
No,
they came
not
out.
yet.
No, she has been home. She went to Mexico immediately.
I thought you were gonna help her move and stuff.
No,
There was
she
a
didn't.
whole bunch of.
She didn't.
Bailey's very small.
She never needed my weak body.
Bailey's very small. But yeah, it was just it's a whole lot, and I kind of had forgotten about the mouse because it just wasn't. I assumed that in the goings on of the day, they would have found the mouse again, and they would have killed it, and it would have been waiting like a pretty present when I got home in the middle of the living room.
That's where I thought this story was going. Was that they started bringing
and honestly,
you dead
that
stuff.
would have been like better than like, we're just gonna chase around this live object. And so I was like ready to come home to a dead mouse. Sad, but like. It's better than a live mouse just wandering around, and then I didn't, and we kind of forgot about it, and I just remembered that it was still there somewhere, and I have to go sleep in this house tonight. And I feel like when it was like one mouse, I was like, oh, random.
One mouse
like
is a mistake. Two is a problem.
Two is like,
True.
there's not just two.
Two is a situation.
There could have just been one mouse, and it would have been fine. But the fact that there are two is unacceptable on so many levels.
Family.
And so and they were both like babies.
Oh.
And so it's like.
One, adorable. Two, that means there's at least one more mouse, because they gotta have a mama.
Did I tell you we found a snake in our yard the second day we moved in?
Okay, not going to your house now, Laura.
Sam killed it.
Well, it was still
And then, we hung it on our fence to ward off the other snakes.
As a warning. Oh, as a warning.
Yeah,
As if they could understand.
Well, somebody said that the blood smells and makes other snakes understand that the snake has died. And that so you don't go because our brethren has died.
Who said that? Was it your fiancé?
No.
Because I trust him on a lot of things. This isn't one of them.
I think it was actually Sam's mom that said
Okay, well.
that. And she lived in the country for a while.
Okay. I don't like that you live in the woods. I need you to come back to the city.
Yes, you know what's stressful is I could walk to Hernando Hills. Like, and I wouldn't break a sweat. And that's a lot. So, like, we shouldn't be living in the country.
You don't live far enough in the country for you to have mice and snakes everywhere. No, please come back to the suburbs.
We hung it on the fence to ward off other snakes. And she said
PETA
that the blood...
is going to get us and
PETA,
you.
I didn't... PETA, there was cats outside. There were small baby cats. Anyways, okay. I don't think there's anything else going on in my life right now. Everybody come visit. We have cats and mice and snakes.
What if you brought the mice with you, like in your moving boxes?
Store them in like a really nice storage unit. Like a really nice one. The nicest one in Orlando, Mississippi.
I was gonna say, I've been around our town.
It's the new one, the air-conditioned one.
Mice love air conditioning.
We found a spider in our bed.
No! Stop! Each thing you say gets worse. Like, we went from mammal to reptile to arachnid, and that is the order of dislike in my brain.
The more legs it has, the more I hate it. Except
Well,
snakes.
except snakes, the exception.
The unacceptable amount of legs something has, the more unacceptable it is. 2 is great. 4 is fine. 6, I'm okay. 8 or more, and then none is just wrong.
The extremes. It's the extremes.
Okay, I think that's it.
Okay.
And if that isn't, I'm not going to tell you anymore.
Thank you. Laura's gonna come in next week and be like, we found the Sasquatch.
You know, dinosaurs still exist. Yeah. We have them. So let's talk about a subject that is near and dear to my heart. And has been. So when I went to Mexico, I got on the plane. I was so excited to listen to music and read a book. And I turned on my music, and I hadn't downloaded all my Spotify songs, so I had to figure out something else. And I'd been wanting to listen to this podcast
called Our 3 Cents.
Yes. And so I just tried it, and it worked without Wi-Fi or internet or anything. And it's about true crime. It's a true crime podcast. It's called My Favorite Murder.
Oh, I've heard about that.
It's really good.
That's supposed to be really good.
So for those of you who may not know, true crime is the genre of, like, entertainment defined by, like, the explanation and, like, the investigation and, like, the details and, like, the story behind the, like, true crime stories from all over the world. So, like, ID Network... Or ID Discovery? That's what it's called, right?
Investigation
Discovery Channel
or
is
ID,
all, like, true crime. The Making a Murderer documentary that came on a couple years ago, that's true crime. Mm-hmm. It's just, like, you sit around, you talk about, like, a crime that's happened, and you delve into, like, just the details and situation behind it. And I've always been interested in those type of things. Like, when Making a Murderer came out, me and Bailey watched it in, like, a day or something.
Yeah.
And, like, I love to... like, listen to all those things, or, like, watch all those things. And I'd been wanting to listen to this podcast, but I just hadn't had time, hadn't had whatever excuses. And so I started listening, and I've now started over the podcast from their episode 1. I'd watched all the ones that, like, had recently come out. And so I just started over, and I'm just into it. Like, I really like it. Molly actually suggested a... podcast that was called the No Sleep Podcast like years ago to me, and it was terrifying. Like, I would listen to it, and I did the same thing where I would listen to this like nonstop. Like I would stop listening to music for weeks and just listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
And I remember going to work a year ago. Yeah, a year ago. And on my way to and from work, I would listen to this podcast, and I would freak myself the fuck out listening to this podcast. Like, oh, I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna die. And so I kind of didn't want to listen to this true crime podcast because I felt like it was gonna be like that again, and even worse. But it's not. Good. I don't know why. I think it's the two like hosts. It's Karen. What are their names? Karen. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Go listen to My Favorite Murder. It's a great podcast, and their like banter is really good, and the way they tell the stories is really good. But I'm just really interested in true crime. Like, it's so interesting to me to listen to and about these hideous, heinous things that happen and have happened forever to the unsuspecting people like just your average Joe walking down the street can be the serial rapist and murderer, and you find out, and like everybody's first thought is, oh, I never thought he would do something like that or something, and it's just like, it's so normal. And, like, everybody thinks that it couldn't happen to them, and these two women are, like, always, like, it could happen, and it's, like, probable that it's going to happen to you unless you're, like, aware of your surroundings and, like, know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah. It's, like, I don't know, they're, like,
See, I'm always aware of my surroundings. I just don't look like I am.
Well, that's not bad. That's good.
That's also not true. You
Yeah.
literally asked her a question earlier and she didn't even hear you because she was on her phone.
I am in the safety of my apartment, in my room. I don't think I need to be aware of my surroundings right now.
Remember how she thought she got robbed a couple weeks ago?
I'm
That's a
still
very-
like, almost
very
broken
scared.
into?
I come into my apartment. If something looks off, I will walk around my entire apartment just to make sure there's
Do
nobody
you
in
have pepper
here.
spray?
Huh?
I know you do, because I stole one from you.
Was that her only one?
No, she had like 4.
Oh, okay.
I think I have some right here. Yeah, I'm not going to reach
Do
for
you
it. but
keep
it's right
it
there.
on you at all times?
Do you have a taser?
No.
No, we don't need a taser.
Should we get tasers?
I don't think we need tasers.
Okay.
Do you keep the pepper spray on you at all times?
No,
Well, then the pepper spray is no good for you.
you're right.
Thank you.
Solved!
True crime done.
Thank you for listening to My Favorite Murder. I hope you like this fill-in episode while the hosts are out.
But yeah, it's just like they just talk about all these like serial killers, and they do this one segment that's called Hometown Murder, and it's like if I wanted to send in, like if a murder had happened in Hernando, if I wanted to send in like a famous murder that happened here, but like may not be as famous as like the real famous one, like John Wayne Gacy or John Bonet or anything like that, like it didn't make like national headlines, but like in our town it was like the biggest thing. People do that all the time, and that's really fun. But I don't know, like I thought that I was gonna be more scared, like I said, but I really haven't been. I think I'm just becoming more aware. I don't know. You
More
have an
educated.
opinion about.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and I really like mysteries as a genre, but I tend to prefer fictional ones because it's like, oh, this like Criminal Minds or like Law and Order SVU. These terrible, terrible things didn't happen to real people, and like, whoop, you don't have to like confront the reality of it happening in real life or it happening to you. And I kind of feel like skeevish is almost the right word, like being entertained by all this. Like, not saying that's how you go into it or how people go into listening or watching or even making any of these things. Like, they're supposed to be educational, but I don't want to like sensationalize crimes.
They like combat that a lot because like I got really confused because like I said, I started over, and their first podcast seemed like they had it all together. I was like, compared to like ours, because it was so recent, I was like, wow, we suck. But I was like, oh no, this is obviously going on for so long. Like, they seem like they have their shit together. They just like renamed theirs 1, 2, 3, 4. But like, no, they really started then. They just like they're both from the LA area, and they have like one of her best friends is like Patton Oswalt, and like his wife,
who was white, right, was the big like investigative
Golden State Killer, did like a lot of stuff with that, and so it's just like they have a lot of
like
influential
research.
Well, they do their own research all the time, and like I think they both have other jobs too, but they just live in a space that allows them to have. They know a lot of people in like the industries, and they live in a place that's like full of serial killers and like crime. So it's just like they're in an environment that like I think was better, and I think they were both semi-famous when they started because they got a following super quickly. Like, I think I'm not on episode 20 yet, and they already were number 1 on iTunes.
Oh, cool!
But like before they had their 20th episode, so like
people love true crime.
People love true crime, and like. Even in the first, like, 15 episodes, they had to talk about, like, how we're not sensationalizing this. We're not saying that we want people to get murdered so we can talk about it. And, like, that's not what's interesting to us. It's, like, the fact that these things happen, and the fact that psychopaths exist, and, like this topic is interesting. Like, the topic of why people do it, or what happened, or, like, the mystery of it all. And, yes, it happens to be real people. Yeah. But, like, sometimes they'll say, like, oh, I love child murders. And I'm like...
Don't say it. Phrasing, maybe.
Yeah, like, some phrasing is just so questionable, and I'm like, I understand what you're saying, and I also am very interested in this topic, but I don't know if I would say I love child murders.
Yeah.
But, like, the way they say it is just so funny, and, like they did a whole episode about cannibals, and she was like, I love cannibals. I was like, oh, me too. Yes.
Yeah. And I will say I haven't, like, consumed a lot of true crime media. Like, turn on A&E, Criminal Minds Marathon on, leave it on all day. 48 Hours, I'm just like, nope, don't want to, watch it.
There are some true crime TV shows that I really don't like how they're made. But, like, Making a Murderer
they're all different,
sucked me in. And, like, there's a Netflix show called The Confession Tapes, which is, like, a lot of...
I would rather watch a
like
documentary. I wouldn't, like, about the serial killer.
Yeah. They're all... That's what I was going to say earlier when we were kind of explaining what true crime is. They're all kind of documentaries in
They all have
sense.
to kind of. I mean, they're docu-series, at least.
Yeah. Like, whether it's a podcast or a TV show or an actual, like, film.
Yeah.
Because they all have to be, like, researched and investigated and then presented in this more objective, like, non-fiction kind of way.
Well, the amount of times they have to say, go look at our Instagram or go look at our Facebook for this, because they'll say, like, you can see this here. Like a man was wearing a mask when he killed somebody, or, like, something about the crime was, like, they're describing a site
visual,
of the crime, and they have to go look at our Instagram or Facebook. It's kind of like, that would have been better as a documentary, but, like, they couldn't have helped that. They're a podcast.
Right.
So,
I think what helped me with, or why I feel like Making a Murderer was kind of different, was because it's more about the
trial
and, like, the psychology and kind of interpersonal relationships between, like, this family and the police and this town, because it's really not a lot about the crime itself. Like, they talk about it, but it's like literally literally making a murderer, like, how this guy
was made into this, like,
kind of was framed, probably framed for one crime, but then probably did this other crime, and it was, like, not good.
Yeah. Another thing that My Favorite Murder does really well, the two women that hosted, is kind of bring, like, attention to the problems within the justice system, and, like, and things like that, like, I didn't really know about. Like, we talk about all of the serial killers I've ever known have just left my mind, but people in the 70s...
John Wayne Gacy, you said him earlier.
Yeah. And, like, Ted Bundy and all these people from, like, the 70s and 80s and 90s and even early 2000s, I think, didn't have reputable DNA testing. So a lot of these murders from, like, the 70s, 80s, you didn't have any way of identifying who it was, or all these evidence, and just, like, things have happened. But then even still this year, and in the last 2 years since they've been doing the podcast, the amount of people who have gotten convicted of just heinous crimes have gotten 15 years. Like, these men who have raped and brutally murdered women, multiple women, get, like, 15 years of prison time, and then on good behavior get out after 7 years, and then within their year that they have, like, parole or something, end up doing it again, go back, get back out, like, 4 years later, and it's just like, okay, hi, they're not better, they're not gonna get better, like. And then, I think in the last episode they were talking about how awful it is that people call rape unconsensual sex, when, like, unconsensual sex doesn't exist. That's all
That's
rape.
it, yeah.
Like, we have a word for it. You don't have to use a different word, and, like, using that on children is just, like, disgusting. Like, nobody can have sex with a child. Like, sex is one thing, rape is another. There's not anything called. And then, like, I know in an episode later that I had heard, when I had been listening to, like, their most recent episodes, that they're gonna talk about, like, Native American women, how they rarely get
justice.
Yeah, like, they rarely get noticed for rapes or murders or anything, and, like, people are just blatantly ignoring the real problem that we're having. About Native American murders and crimes and just things like that. Like, they really do bring attention to a lot of things that are, like, I didn't realize about this. Like, I mean, everybody kind of knows that ours is just kind of fucked in certain ways. Yeah. And that we can always use improvement. But some things they say, I'm just like, I never knew that. Or, like, the botched, like, investigations that are done. Yeah. Whether it be on purpose or not. It's just like, wow, we could have had a little bit of our shit more together, couldn't we? Yeah. But it's good. I like it. Molly, do you have anything to say about true crime?
Yeah, what's your true crime experience?
I have listened to Serial. I don't think I ever finished
really?
it. But I thought that was really good. The lady's voice kind of hurt my ears though, so I stopped listening to it. I mean, I mean, like I said, I think the documentary stuff is interesting. I enjoyed I guess in my science classes, we watched some stuff every now and then about serial killers, which I thought was interesting. Then there was that Hulu show for like 4 episodes. What was it called, Bailey? Remember it was about the Ripper. I don't know if you ever watched an episode with me, but we watched it whenever we lived. I watched it whenever we lived together, and it was
a true show?
no, but I mean, it was about Jack the Ripper.
Uh-huh.
Again, I don't know what true crime is, but yeah, for the listeners at home, we had to define it for me today. Please tweet at me if you also didn't know what true crime was.
Also tweet at us if you know which show she's talking about, because I can't.
No,
I don't know.
I can't remember what it was called. It got canceled within
it.
like 4 episodes, so it's very depressing.
Well, I'll find that for you.
But yeah, like I like learning about serial killers and like why they did the things that they did.
Molly, was it Time After Time? Yes, because it was like H.G. Wells and time travel. Molly, that's not even kind of related to true
It was about Jack the
Is it
Ripper.
about Jack the Ripper?
Kind of. It's kind of about Jack the Ripper.
It was really good.
It's also about H.G. Wells, and as I said, they time travel.
It was good. I was really upset they canceled that.
That's good.
Molly just wanted to talk about a show
She
liked.
did. We're talking about nonfiction right now, Molly. Tell us about your nonfiction
I
crimes
bet I
you
can
like.
find one for Atlanta. I'm almost positive.
I've read
It's got
I don't know
tons
if
of
this is true
crime.
crime, but I've read a statistic that you pass, I can't remember how many, a certain amount of serial killers in your lifetime.
Ooh, I heard a thing on the podcast
Mhm.
that said
Oh, I
that
have something
like
up with
there's all these
podcasts.
like they always talk about like I wish there was a way that we could like just test and see if somebody's gonna be a psychopath like you're
Yeah,
gonna
and
murder
I think they've
everybody.
talked about that on Criminal Minds, like brain scans
yeah.
and
And like the last one I listened to, she was like, so I heard recently that so psychopaths are known to not be empathetic and sympathetic and like they lack empathy, and that's why they can do all these crazy things without it like affect, because their brain is already affected so much that the killing and the mutilization of everybody doesn't affect them the way it affects normal people. So like when we see something we throw up and it's like this whole thing, and like they can do it without blinking an eye. And a good way to tell if somebody's a psychopath is if I yawn right now, Bailey will probably yawn, and like you might yawn. So
Oh,
like hearing
I've heard
it,
they don't
and
yawn.
then if they don't yawn, it's like you're subconsciously so non-empathetic that you can't
won't
even yawn.
Let's do that at episode 22. Let's all take like psychopath tests.
It was so funny because she said that one of the women was like, I hate when people say that, and the other one was like, why? She's like, because my husband doesn't yawn when I yawn. It was funny. She's like, I've been trying it because I knew this was gonna come up someday, and I've been trying it, and he still doesn't do it. Like, oh my god, that's so funny. So now I want to try it in front of Sam. But I feel like I've yawned in front of him, and he's done it. But yeah, I would love to take a psychopath test. But yeah, there's just little things like that. Like
I think you passed like 9 serial killers. I think that's the number.
that's crazy.
That's so many.
Although, like, I really also like the they do
That's gonna be like an average or something. Like in New York, you pass like way more serial killers than we do.
I only talked to 6 people today, so if
I was
I
gonna
pass
say I don't
9
pass
serial
9
killers-
people in my life.
But they do this segment where it's like that could have been me.
Oh,
And
no.
they'll talk because they were both born in the 80s,
Uh-huh.
and so they were like super latchkey kids, and like never. And the amount of times they've said that could have been me, like I did those things, and like the sooner they get or the closer they get into like these years, it's like I think about it, it's like, oh shit, that could have been me. Like those are really weird.
Yeah.
But yes, I like true crime. Everybody go listen to that podcast. You probably already are.
Listen to ours first.
Listen to ours first.
Next topic?
Next topic.
Next topic.
Next topic. So I have a friend who recently got in a relationship with this guy, and they fooled around a little bit, but she doesn't know if she's ready for sex and doesn't know when she's going to get that feeling or when she's going to feel like it's the right time. And her whole life she's kind of focused on him, like the guy saying that he loves her, and like she's going to know then that it's the right time. And now she's kind of questioning like, is that going to be the right time? Will I feel that way? Is there a feeling that you get? Is it just kind of like a social construct of whatever? And so she kind of wants us to talk about when we think the right time to have sex is, not necessarily like losing your virginity, but like in a relationship, when's the right time to do it, to like instigate or like
Initiate.
go all the yeah, that's what I meant. Initiate.
God.
Go all the way.
Instigate's a little aggressive.
We're instigating this sexual intercourse. Go all the way, do the deed, whatever you want to say. When's the right time? And like I said, they've already fooled around, so they've been sexual. So it's not like sex is going to be the first thing that they do together. But she's an overthinker, and she just wants to know that it's going to be like better. Is there an answer? Is there a right answer? Is there
a right time?
Yeah, is there a right time?
I mean, obviously the right time is going to be different
For everyone.
for everybody. Because some people will start the sex before they start a relationship, don't care about being in a relationship to have sex. Then you got the opposite spectrum. Some people want to wait until they're married to have sex. Some people just want to wait a while.
I think we want to point out also, before we say much more of anything, is that, or at least I want to say, it's a choice for everybody. And I don't care. Like, I don't think any of
when
us
we
think
say
that it's
right,
wrong.
this is our scientific explanation, not, oh, well, if you do it before then,
You're a
slut.
slut.
Yeah,
Like,
you're a slut. We're not here to slut shame. We're just here to
If you think, like, it,
gather a consensus. From
you're
the three
ready
of
to have
us.
sex when you think you're ready to have sex. It's not that big of a deal. Virginity is a sexually or socially constructed concept. Anyways, like, not a big thing about that. Just for this girl in particular, I know she's not gonna care, and she actually wants this advice pretty explicitly. So,
so let's give her something.
So we're gonna give her something. Please don't take offense.
I mean, Laura, let's get some assumptions out of the way. Can we assume that your friend is a well-educated adult who is educated on all the safety, who is mentally
competent to have sex? Yeah.
Mature enough to have sex and knows the protections that should be taken. Good. I mean, my first instinct is to say, how long has she been with a guy, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like
but what is that?
Right,
matter?
I feel like time period is what we always shoot for.
Here's the thing. Let's just give you a little bit more background on.
But
her. So she's gonna want to have been in the relationship for a little while at least. She's gonna want to feel comfortable. She's not gonna. It's not gonna be one of those things where it was like their first date. She was like, "This could have ended in a one night stand." That's not something that would have happened. Probably. She's the type of person to like think about it and not want to overthink. And like do like considers things and consider like what can all happen and like prepare herself before she jumps into it. So yeah, she's got it all.
See, I don't think that time matters, but like it does.
What emotions matter?
Yeah,
that's my biggest thing.
That's what
is
I
that,
think
like,
we should focus on.
You could be physically ready to have sex, but does that mean you're emotionally ready to have sex?
That's a good point.
Well, that's what I think.
Let's delve
your
deeper.
friend is asking.
Can I delve deep back? Can I deep?
I don't know. It's
I
up to
can't
you.
talk about it, but can I? Okay. So physically, this is gonna sound bad, but physically, you're ready to have sex
when you hit puberty.
Right. Physically.
Right.
So like, and the thing about that is your body's literally gonna give you signs that like I want to have sex, and like there's literally physical changes and you go through things physically.
Right.
When you're a teenager. And younger, if you go through puberty early, that are like, I can have sex now. I'm not condoning that. I'm not saying that children.
This podcast is anti-middle school sex.
Should have sex.
Right.
So, like, I don't like the only physical part.
Right.
Emotionally, it's hard to define.
Right. And it sounds like your friend doesn't either, since they've, like you said, kind of fooled around.
Yeah.
We're just talking about quote unquote going all the way.
There's a societal bubble around the like fooling around for like you could literally fool around for months and get soup and like we've already talked about this on the podcast what we can constitute as sex.
I was gonna say, can you define fooling around a little more for maybe the listeners at home?
I would say oral sex was on the table and like foreplay.
Yeah,
was like has
making out. genitals involved.
Don't say genitals. I was gonna say petting.
Petting!
That's a term
I
people
know it
use.
is! I
Better
know
than genitals.
I know.
Heavy petting.
Sex ed Bailey over here.
I know, we need... Listen, we all need some sex ed, and it should include the emotional component.
That has nothing to do with genitals.
I really don't like that word. It's so uncomfortable.
Genitals? Well, now I'm not going to stop saying it.
Anyways,
Heavy petting.
heavy petting
Mm-hmm.
has happened, and then oral sex has happened. So, it's not that they're uncomfortable with each other's bodies, or with their own bodies, or with their bodies interacting. It's that there's a mental block whether you truly believe that sex will or will not change anything. I think it's really hard for people to get over the effect that it could have, because nobody knows until they have sex with somebody.
I was going to say, it sounds like they are, like, it sounds like your friend is ready to have sex. Not like you said, they're super comfortable, they really like each other, they're all for it. It's just what may happen that's stopping.
I think it's like Laura said too, the social construct of it. It's like society makes it out to be this big deal, and
so is it going to be a big deal?
I heard somebody say the other day that I would rather, what did they say? I would rather, it wasn't about this topic, but it was like, I would rather stay comfortable than take a leap of faith and regret it.
Yeah.
It was more eloquent than that.
Yeah.
But it was like, currently she's not having sex with the guy, and she's enjoying what's happening, and they're both, I cannot speak for him, but I'm assuming they're both happy. I can't really speak for her either. I'm assuming they're both happy. With what's happening currently. And like I said, they've only been dating or in a relationship for a couple weeks now. So like, they're comfortable with what's happening. They're fine with it. I'm gonna make that bold statement. But could it be better? Could it be like, could their relationship go to the next level emotionally, and like on like a emotional connection level with sex? Or is it gonna be like, now she's overthinking all of the emotional effort that she's put in, and is he gonna be different?
I just think there's no way for us to answer this. I think it's too specific, person to person.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
All three of us are going to have different reactions to things, and your friend is going to have a different reaction to things. Like, literally every time, when you have sex for the first time, it is the first time you are having sex. It's not going to be like anybody else's.
I think that's the thing, and I'm going to, like, statements. So, the first time I had sex, it really didn't change anything in my life. But before then, I thought everything in my life was going to change.
Right.
I thought it was going to be, like, I woke up the next morning, and I was, like, everything was going to be different. I thought it was going to, like, be plastered on my forehead.
Like in that 70s show.
I was going to have this, like, yeah, exactly. Like, I thought I was going to have this, like, maturity feeling, and this, like, just, like, confidence, and this, like, oh, it's happened. And this was, like, me losing my virginity. So it's, like, all of these things I thought were going to change. I literally woke up the next morning, nothing was different. Like,
it's like your birthday, nothing. How, like, you know you're a year older, but it's just a new day, so nothing, like,
yeah, exactly.
Feels
but then
different.
Other people talk about losing their virginity, or talking about having sex for the first time with their, like, person that they've been dating for super long, or just, like, a one-night stand, and it's like, oh, yeah. Like, I've heard a lot of one-night stands be like, yeah, that was why it was a one-night stand. Or, like, people who've gotten married be like, that kind of solidified it for me. So it's like, it's so hard to define. But I think her question is more like, is it okay? Am I going to be okay?
Yes, friend. You're going to be okay. As long as the two people involved like each other and are consenting, you're going to be okay. You may not be happy with the experience afterwards. Like that, it's not just specific to the person's emotion, specific to that experience and, like, the other person. Like you said, like...
Well, that's another thing, is that, like, sex with a new person is awkward as shit.
Yeah.
Like, Like,
if you have a one night stand with someone you've just randomly met, if you're not like super just purely gung ho about the sex, you might be like, well, that wasn't very fun.
and like that's the thing that sucks is like, there's always like, I talk about this like I've had sex with so many people. I just think like in talking to people, there's always those like, oh, that was bad sex, so we have a bad relationship. That's not how sex works, and that's not how relationships work. Like, you both gotta learn shit about each other that like it's gonna take literal training. Like, that sounds awful, but it's like they're not gonna know what you like until you tell them. Like, how the hell are they gonna know what you like?
Like, even like you didn't mention for your friend or the boyfriend, even if this isn't their first time with sex completely, it's their first time with each other. So you still have to learn about not just how does sex work, but like how does sex with this person work? Like, do they like
Yeah.
Are you gonna use
the
specifics?
things?
There
No,
you go.
I wasn't. Yeah. I can't even think of anything. Positions.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that, like, are you gonna... So, what does make me feel better is that they've been sexual before, so their sexual chemistry should already be, like, set to some level.
They're
where
ready.
It's not like, this is the first time you're seeing my naked body. All of my insecurities are out on the table.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like... So instead of thinking about the act, they're thinking about that they've never seen this part of me before.
And that brings up a lot of, like you said, insecurity. What's the word I'm looking for? Just adding more nervousness to when you're already
So they've already
nervous.
done that, and then also they've already done, like, they kind of know about each other's sexual preferences also. So, like, that makes it better to where she knows a little bit about what he likes. So, like, there's that ease, and he knows what she likes, kind of. So it's like... We kind of know what we're doing, like, a little bit.
Let's break down the societal expectations.
I had something to say. Oh, guys aren't gonna think that sex is bad. That's awful. But let me just put it out there. Like, if you're worried about that, don't be.
Listen, friend.
So, don't really. That was it. That was in reaction to something that was said earlier. But if that's a worry that she has, ain't gonna need to worry.
I feel like you said, it's such a big societal expectation for it to be this big important moment. So like,
I think people are more let down.
Yeah.
That it's not.
Yeah, like it's let's break it down for your friend. It probably won't be that big of a. It'll probably be fun, maybe kind of awkward, maybe kind of weird. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I know her, and I know that she's not gonna let, like, a weird... Like, the quirky
It's gonna be
things,
a 6.5 to 7 out of 10.
Well, like, the quirky things that happen during sex when you're literally, like, naked in front of another person, and you're like, combining naked bodies. Like, that's gonna be awkward. And she's not one to let, like, quirky little, like, mishaps really affect the mood, so that's good. I don't think he is either. So it's just kind of like, I think it's going to be more fun than she thinks it's going to be, but I understand her worry, and I also don't want her to do it just because everybody's telling her that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, no. I think the way I was reading your question from your friend is that she's like, is that not she's doing it because, like, we're telling her it's okay, but that she wants to do it and she needs someone to tell her it's okay.
I feel that also, and I also think that she is the type of person who, like, needs reassurance. And it's more that I don't think she expected this. I don't think she expected this relationship, so it was kind of like, this isn't what I had planned, or this isn't what, in my head, it was gonna be like. Like, I didn't see myself... needing to talk about this topic. Yeah. And now it's just kind of happened, and it's like, oh, I hadn't expected to have sex right now. I didn't expect to be, like, in a relationship where it's like I have to have these conversations. So, like, now I need to talk about it, because... Yeah.
Molly, you're in any relationship. What do you think?
I really think I think society's expectations of it is what's really messing with your friend's head.
In what way? Like, what societal, like, the whole thing that, like, it's the biggest thing that's ever going to happen to you and you don't get it back?
Yeah, like, it could be, like, a really big deal, like, and from, like, my personal experience, like, trying to put myself in her shoes, I have watched all of my friends go through very, like,
It's the
bad relationships. Like, we talked recently about how one of my best friends just technically got played by this guy for, like, 9 months, and she never did anything with him. So, I mean, like,
oh yeah,
I think that could be a thing too. Like, and I think that's in every relationship, every big step you take. It's, I mean, at least in the back of my mind, it's like, is this, like, is he playing me? Like, do I need to watch myself?
I think, though, for Laura, I think for your friend...
I don't want to believe. And, like, this... I don't want to believe that this guy's doing that.
I feel like if you're at the...
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say what you're about to say.
We can only speak for one half of the relationship. But I feel like if you're at the point where if you're questioning, am I ready to have sex...
And it's such a big deal to her.
And
like,
you
it's a big
want
deal to her.
to. Yeah. It sounds like you're ready, though, if you're... Like, obviously, you can say, am I ready to have sex? And the answer can be no. But just for this friend asking for, like, asking for reassurance, asking if it's okay, it sounds like that person is ready. And let's say that... Let's say that the boy is just wanting sex out of your friend.
Yeah.
And he's gonna just drop and run as soon as it happens. That sucks, but not because they had sex.
Yeah.
Like, that's because he was a douchey guy who took it. Like, that is separate from the act of we had sex with each other.
And it's also, like, what Molly was saying, like, I think my friend has... You know when people talk about relationships and they never talk about the good stuff because they never want to seem braggy?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't want to be show-offy about how great my relationship is, but you always know when a girl's fighting with her boyfriend. Because she always talks about that.
Right.
It's like you never hear that a girl and her boyfriend are having great sex because nobody wants to hear about your, like, great sex.
Right, like, ew, let's keep it to yourself. Get
Get
a room.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah,
but if somebody's having bad sex,
you're gonna
hear about it. Or if somebody gets broken up with, or like, like a skis ball literally just has sex and leaves.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna hear about it because how fucking dare he?
Yeah, that's true. We
So,
talk
like,
about the negative stuff more, and that sticks with us more.
So, like, I think my friend is, like, kind of doing the college thing where it's, like, all of these really skis, no offense to college guys, but, like, all these skis-ass college guys who just wanted to go to college and have fun.
Yeah.
And then got into a relationship with this really hot girl and, like, wanted to have sex, and now my friend's, like, looking at all these people, like... He literally just wanted to have sex with her. And he's going to literally dump me right after we have sex. Like, that's all he wanted. And I really want to think higher of this guy and be like, there's been effort put into this relationship. Like, she's a busy chick. Like, she... I don't know. She has a life, and he has a life. And so there's, like, been things that they both had to work out. And it's like, I don't want to think that he put in effort and, like, she put in effort. To it just, I feel like, and I do feel like this in a lot of situations, but I feel like if he was just looking for sex, he could have found it easier.
You feel like if he's putting in this much effort, he's not doing it just to have sex.
Yeah, literally, it's like Tinder exists.
Yeah.
Bumble exists.
Yeah.
Like, you can find sex easily this day and age. I don't see why somebody thinks that putting in effort for literal weeks just to get sex, like, that's a lot of effort for some dick. Like...
Yeah. Also, Laura's friend, if you're also worried about Molly's friend who had her Australian relationship.
Oh, poor girl.
That's very sad, but that is just all kinds of out of the ordinary. She is not the norm.
The norm.
The standard that you should measure yourself by. Molly, say more things. I feel like this has been the Laura
It really has. I've been trying to think of things to say. It's just so hard because, like... I mean, it's, y'all made the point, it can't be, like, y'all can't make the decision for her because everybody is so different and unique. Like, who's to say, like, how this could go down? I mean, like, they could have had sex on the first night and things would have worked out great, like, regardless.
Right.
I think it's so specific.
Right, yeah, like, we
it's so specific.
No.
It's up to her. And I had another point.
I think another thing about societal things is the pressure to have sex in a relationship that I don't think we hit on yet.
Yes.
Is
the flip side.
The flip side of this is, like, I don't want my friend to think that if you don't have sex, there's something wrong with your relationship. Because that's not fair. Like, I think the question has arisen because all of her friends are asking when they're going to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you haven't done it yet. Or, like, they're asking about things and it's like, oh, you haven't done it yet? Like, that's a strange thing. When, like, just because, like, that's not strange. And it doesn't have to be strange. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, like, she sees her friends or other people in, like, random places have sex rather quickly, and she's not, and it's a big deal to her. So it's like, she can take as long as she wants, and nobody's gonna judge her. And from what I can tell, I mean, no, she said out loud, like, the guy's not pressuring her, so it's not like, it's not like this is a thing where it's like the guy really fucking wants to have sex. It's like, I'm sure the guy really does want to have sex, but he's not like, so is tonight we're gonna have sex? Or like, oh, you want to wait? Okay, great, that's fine. And then like the next night, asking again.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's both a mutual respect from each other. It's just that societal thing about like everyone has sex.
Yeah.
I'm not, so that makes me weird.
Yeah.
When it's like, no,
That's true.
you can not, you don't have to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I just want her to be comfortable.
Yeah, I think also something you kind of just touched on, in your pretend boyfriend voice, was that communication is important. Like maybe even just talking about this with her.
That's
boyfriend.
what I was going to
That's a good
suggest
point. That's a good point.
Because like first of all, make sure like he's ready. He might not be ready.
That's a good point.
Like you said. In
like
general, guys are ready.
I hate to assume.
See, that's what I was thinking too, but I didn't know if it would be like suggesting that if it would be like a turn off for the guy, for the girl.
I don't think
for
so.
The friend,
In what way,
for
though?
her
Like,
friend
what?
to be like, oh, I'm worried. Like, this is gonna like list all the reasons why she's like potentially nervous about having sex. Like, if it is the like, oh, I'm afraid you're gonna leave me after you fuck me. Like, isn't that kind of a turnoff?
I think that one's a little different. I feel like the guy could get a little offended by that.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna get open.
Okay.
This girl has anxiety problems, and she has already been.
She's come to the right podcast.
Hello! She's been open about other anxieties before, and the guy has reciprocated, and, like, kind of shown his, like, softer, more sensitive, I also suffer from anxiety over certain things side, so I feel like sharing the anxieties and being like, look, not about you. Yeah. Like, this is not about you.
I don't think you're a douchebag, but
this would be the same if this was Joe Schmo down the street. Like, this could have been any guy, it just happened to be you. Can I voice my concerns? And then list them and just be like, this is nothing personal to you. This is nothing personal to our relationship. This is how this makes me feel because this is such an important topic to me. And from what I can tell and what she said, I think he'll respect it.
I think it's always more important to over-communicate than under-communicate if you're worried about not hitting the balance. If that's
definitely.
If talking about your worries is a turnoff for a guy, tough. Like, he can suck it up. Like, that's...
I get why she would be nervous, and I get why Molly said that, like, that could be a turnoff, because, like, you don't want to listen to everybody's anxieties.
You don't want to hurt his feelings, and you don't want him to think, like, you're weird or something for being, like, worried. But overall, it's more important to be more open in the communication.
And this isn't, like, something you can hide either. Like, this isn't one of those anxieties that is like, oh, I'm scared of what am I scared of?
Snakes?
Snakes. I'm scared of snakes. I can just pretend not to be scared of snakes because I don't normally see snakes until I see a snake. This is like, this literally has two people involved. The two people involved need to communicate about what's happening. So, like, even thought that, like, she's ready. Like, it would be horrible if she got all ready
Mm-hmm.
and brought it to him, and he was like, "Oh, I don't have sex until the 50th day." And it's like, oh,
yeah.
so like that's a thing.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. That's like proposing. I feel like a couple should talk about like proposing and being engaged
Yeah.
before it happens.
Yeah.
I think the timing and the way it happens can be a surprise, but both people should know
That it's gonna happen
that
at
an
some
engagement's going to
Yeah.
happen. Like you aren't surprised that Sam did propose, right?
I
You were just
created my
surprised in
own
the
ring.
moment. That's
Yes,
true, right?
I did.
Which I think that's also important. Guys might not know your ring size.
It's
They may
very
not know what you
important.
like.
What Sam
Yeah.
probably would have created, I probably wouldn't have liked. No offense, babe, I love you. And I
She has
would've-
particular taste.
I would have liked it. I'm just really fucking picky.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like you should talk about sex, like, hey, I'm kind of ready, but I'm kind of worried about this. And plus, you're going to have so much more fun if you're not in
Yeah.
the back of your mind worried, like, while you're having sex, like, what's going to happen when this
Yeah.
is over? How
And
am I going
another
to feel?
thing is, and I just was guilty of it, is
Mhm.
that I said all guys like sex,
Mhm.
and they're never gonna be like whatever. He
Mhm.
also might have anxieties.
Right.
Like he might have insecurities. He might
Mhm.
have some of the same anxieties that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
He might want to wait till
talking
the 50th
about
date,
it.
like
He
you
might
said.
just be like, "Oh my god, me too." Like, what
Yeah.
if that happened? What if
Yeah.
she literally talked to him?
That's
and he was
more
like,
likely to happen
"Oh my
than
God,
him,
me
like,
too."
you're,
Like,
terrible. You're mean.
Like,
Stop being mean.
I hate the TV sex that happens. That it's like
Mhm.
both of them are beautiful, both of them are super confident,
Uh-huh.
and both of them know how to do every position in the Kama Sutra. And it's like,
Yes.
that's not real. That's not real. That's not how it works. It's awkward.
Uh-huh.
You fumble, you bumble, you bump.
Uh-huh.
And, like, you don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. You don't know
Mm.
what to, like, look at.
Mm.
And then it's kind of awkward after because it's like, oh, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we haven't talked about if we cuddle or not.
Pee
Like,
after sex.
Oh, yeah, do pee after sex.
I don't remember where I learned that, but, like, it is not talked about on TV. They
It's
just
not.
lay in bed. They
Yeah.
might even go to sleep. You should
You have to
pee after sex.
But yeah, so it's like things like that like,
Mm.
I don't know. I just think it'd be great to be like that comfortable with someone.
Wow, I just
before
read a
you end
tweet
up
that
having
said
sex.
pee after sex.
That is amazing, but again, I don't
You
like
just
it when you're
admit
on
you're on
Twitter
Twitter
during
while
our
we're talking.
podcast.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm selfish because I want my friend to have sex because
Mhm.
I like
Because you think she's ready.
I think she's ready, and I also think that the sex that she's gonna have with this guy is gonna be amazing. But I don't want her to do that just because I think so, or just because anybody else
Right.
thinks so, or just because like she thinks that because she's hit a certain number of weeks that she's ready,
Yeah.
or like because like I said she had the whole "I love you" thing. Well,
Mhm.
that doesn't mean diddly squat if you're not ready to have sex.
Mhm.
You know?
Oh
So,
yeah, I
like,
forgot you brought that up. We didn't.
He
I
could
forgot that was part of the question.
Yeah. He could have said he can say "I love you" at any time, and he can mean it wholeheartedly, and she can mean it too. But that has
That won't
no
make you
bearing
ready,
on
yeah.
sex. And so, in
Yeah.
my opinion, so like,
Like, we're sorry, friend, that we kind of didn't answer your question
I hope
because
we
it's so
answered it a
specific.
little.
Yeah, I hope we answered the things surrounding your question and showed you that only you can truly answer if you're ready to have sex.
So, more stress for her.
thought she just said moisturize. I was like, that's a good
Moisturize,
topic
yeah,
also.
moisturize.
That
Always
too.
pee after sex and always moisturize.
Moisturize before or pee after. I guess you moisturize after too.
You can
I mean, there's no
moisturize all
harm.
the time.
Yeah, there's no harm.
You can never over moisturize.
You can never over moisturize. You can never over communicate.
Pro moisturize.
Oh gosh.
I hope we answered her
I
question.
hope we helped her.
It
Laura,
does.
take us out.
Okay, well, we also hope that we can kind of be a little bit helpful to you. If you have any questions in the future, we
Ooh.
would love to hear them.
Good transition, Laura.
I really do hope we help my friend. I really do love true crime. But yeah, we are not the best, but we are not the worst.
Just like sex.
We love you. We hope you have a fantastic day. We are Our 3 Cents. I'm Laura.
I'm Molly.
I'm Bailey.
Bye.
Bye. And if you want to find where to find us, look in the description. I realize Laura skipped all that, but it's okay.
I just want to hear that.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.